Hey guys, welcome to ANX Gamecast, level 117. I'm Unbiased Ann, and I'm here with Genesis and Terrence. How's it going, guys?
Doing good.
What up? You just got a haircut?
Fresh fade.
Fresh fade Wednesday. I got one too.
Not me. No fade for me.
Well.
All right, what are you guys excited to talk about?
Terrence?
Promise Neverland.
Neverland Range. Okay. I'm excited to talk about last gen systems before new gen systems come out. So not current gen systems, but last gen systems.
Okay.
What you got?
I'm excited to talk about The Last of Us Remastered.
Remastered. You ain't played that.
He played the original.
The original.
Okay. Well, let's go ahead and do the social media thing real quick so we can get started. Follow us at ANX Gamecast on all social media outlets and wherever you get your favorite podcasts. Speaking of your favorite podcast, if you're still listening, audio only, shout out.
Shout out.
Ain't nothing wrong with that. But if you want to see this, if you want to watch the video, or if you got some fancy YouTube subscription, because a lot of people do, we're on YouTube. Look us up, AVersion TV. Make sure to like some of the tracks, follow, and hit the notification bell so you'll get all the updates. Remember, we're the one that is not in Spanish.
We always say it opposite. I always think I'm going to say we're the one in English, and you always say not in Spanish.
Again, not that there's anything wrong with being in Spanish.
Right.
There's one out there that is in Spanish. That is not us.
That's just not us.
That's just not us. So that's the only reason I say that. Y'all ready to jump into round one?
Let's do this.
Round one.
Anime we're currently watching.
Terrence.
What you got? Neverland Ranch?
Oh, gosh. No.
Jesus Juice? No.
No.
Oh,
It's called Promise Neverland.
okay.
So I was on this no anime because I told y'all Crunchyroll had been down for a while or whatever. And they're back up. Slowly but surely they are. I've seen some episodes of some of the stuff I watched popping up again. But I was on Funimation that does everything in English.
That's right.
But they had one pop up. It was called Promise Neverland, which I knew I'd heard the name before. And I know that they had a manga series as well. And so it kind of takes place with three friends, Norman, Ray, and Emma. And they are all they're in an orphanage.
So they're like little kids?
Yeah, little kids. And so everything just kind of goes. And, you know, when you reach a certain age, you get adopted. Oh, so they thought.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the young girls had a teddy bear and she left it. And she was always with this teddy bear. So they went to take it to her. But there was a kicker.
That's when Michael Jackson appeared.
Michael Jackson ain't nowhere in this. Michael Jackson did.
That's true.
In this, they said never go on the other side of the gate, and they did to try to give her the bear, and they found her dead body. Crumpled
Murked.
up.
No.
In the back of a truck.
Spoiler
Her
alert.
neck had been broken.
Snap.
And so
Oh, snap.
what happened is they heard somebody coming, and it was monsters. They were monsters.
Real monsters?
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
because it sounded like The Village so far.
No, they
Remember
were
The
monsters.
Village? Remember
They had
that
like
crappy movie?
3 to 4 eyes. I would think.
Okay, yeah, that's a monster.
That's a monster. And they had like the little long fingers with the long fingernails. And so what
Like
they
Bomani Jones.
right.
Oh, I love Bomani.
So
Okay. H-Town.
So what they do is they take the kids and they feast on them. They feast on their brains. So their bodies are worth. They're precious, and so
Because it's like food.
right. So really, what the orphanages are
Breeding grounds for food.
Correct. A farm.
a farm.
Ew.
Yeah, and so if you have high test scores, then your brain is worth more.
Oh.
So so their range is from between the ages of 6 and 12. They feel like that's the time when I guess the kids are the smartest.
Yeah, probably because they're constantly learning stuff every day
Correct.
at school.
And so the two kids, Norman and Emma, who found out, they want to help all the rest of the kids escape. So then they lay out a plan, and then it goes from there.
Like Harriet Tubman.
Yeah.
I got all the analogies
right,
today.
but they ain't on a $20 bill.
Neither is she.
Mm.
So But anyway, that's another story. So I think we talked about this earlier. I think I've actually seen this. I didn't watch it from the beginning. I didn't see the end. I saw probably 3 or 4 episodes in the middle.
Okay.
Because it used to come on Toonami if I'm thinking of the same show.
Okay.
Did you like it?
Yeah.
It sounds good.
I stopped watching it because I watched a few episodes. Right. I was like, oh, I like this. But then I didn't know none of the stuff he just said. I didn't know any of that because I hadn't seen the first couple episodes, and then I didn't want to spoil anything, so I just stopped it. So,
and everybody has their own perk. Like Emma's really athletic, and she is the one training at the beginning. She's the one training the kids how to, and what they do is they disguise it under them playing tag. So they get, because kids aren't.
So they think they're playing, but they really
correct, and they're trying to get them ready to run and to get away. And so in order to
is part of it that the monsters hunt them? Like, is that part of the?
No, they don't hunt them, but they have a sister, like it's almost like a like the Catholic Church, but it's not the Catholic Church.
Huh?
So yeah, so she's like a.
So it is Michael Jackson.
She's a nun or caretaker.
Oh, okay.
Stop.
What? Oh.
It's not Michael Jackson affiliated.
All right, I'm gonna get away from them.
So they're trying to. Now she knows somebody was there because they left the bunny, and she knows that the bunny wasn't there. So
she's gonna find out who.
Yeah.
We may need to watch this.
And then you're next.
And I finished the first season. It's really, really good. And it's so smooth that the episodes just kind of lead into the next.
Yeah.
They don't do like, some of them that'll do like in the last episode, this happened. No, they just kind of where it breaks off. It kind of transcends into the next one. It's been really good.
So we get started tonight.
Yes. I think it's 12 episodes.
Maybe.
Let's do this. So anyway, let me go ahead and go next because I was on the Funimation app as well.
Okay.
Because turns out that we've been paying for it and forgot that we were paying for it. I was like, well, let me go ahead and use it since I'm done with Neon Genesis.
Okay.
So as you can see on the screen, there's a new little person up at the top right. And if anybody who knows me knows that this doesn't represent any kind of anime that I would ever watch. But I tried it. It was called Zombieland Saga. And I didn't read the description. All I went off of was the
zombies.
No, it was just a picture. The picture that they had on Funimation of the anime.
Okay.
And the art style and the way it was drawn. And I was like, oh, okay, I probably can get behind this. Zombies is probably dark. The art style looked dark. I was like, cool. It was total opposite. And the art style looked nothing like it did in the thumbnail. I was like, what is this?
Yeah, I watched the first episode and then I was done.
He's seen the whole series.
I watched the first episode.
Y'all know how he just told us about Michael Jackson and Neverland Ranch?
I ain't seen nothing about Michael Jackson.
He told me all about this show as well.
Now I did like Michael Jackson music, but I didn't know. This one was, I turned it off halfway through the first. You remember? Yep. I turned it off halfway through the first episode. I was like, nope, this ain't for me because it wasn't serious at all. It was goofy. It is.
It was all this kind of like weird kind of comedy. It wasn't funny, ha comedy, but it was like ironic things that were happening to people. And I was like, what is this?
And she died and somebody brought her back to life. So I watched the first episode and it was, I don't know if it was the goofiness of it. It just seemed dull to me. And even like Promised Neverland, it's kids, but they're still doing things.
Yeah.
And then they're still using, like, even if like some of them are still using their mind because they're like, one of the characters is real smart. He plans well.
How we get back talking about Michael Jackson?
Because I'm coming back.
Okay. All right.
We ain't talking about Michael Jackson. Help us all. And so because of that, you go to Zombieland Saga and it's about a rock group with zombies. And you're like, come on.
And I didn't even get that far.
Yeah.
I didn't even get that far.
Yeah, because she did her first concert and it was like, oh my God, it's heavy metal too.
And once you said that, it made sense because the opening theme song was like some heavy metal, J-rock, right? And I was like, okay, I was into it. And then
they lost you.
Yeah, no. So
because it starts out real simple. Like she's talking and she's going through life.
I'm going to school today and I can't wait to go to this concert.
Boom.
And then next thing you know, she get by a truck.
Mm-hmm.
And then she wakes up and somebody shoots her. and she done die because she's a zombie. Anyway, yeah, will not be finishing that. So
yeah,
if I ever update Anime Planet, that will be on my stalled list. It's not happening. So anyway, what you got?
Dragon Ball Z.
Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah, and I usually have like a whole bunch to talk about, but not today. I don't feel like much has happened.
I feel like a whole lot happened.
Well, I just felt like, okay, Vegeta and Nappa landed, and Goku is still trying to get back, and so they're all fighting like each other.
Oh, they're fighting the little Martian, the little green man.
Oh, them too.
Okay.
So they brought in the little green men, but I'm just saying there's like a fight going on,
okay.
kind of. And what's his name? Yamcha dies.
Yeah, I feel like that's big news.
It is big news, but like that's all that happened.
One of the main characters died. See how she do?
And then he
Yamcha.
And then he reminded me of we have the little dead Yamcha Pop.
Funko Pop.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, that's what that's from.
Well, Yamcha is like the weakest of all of them.
Well,
no, he's stronger than Chaozu. And Chaozu out there.
Chaozu's like a baby. He's like a little baby. Right, so it's like a baby fighting.
He out there though. And he's stronger than Yajirobe. He out there. Well, he not out there right now.
Does Yajirobe even have a power limit?
I'm sure, because all humans got at least a 5. So he has to be stronger than all the humans on the planet.
I felt like Yamcha was kind of like, I don't know what word to use. When we watched that movie, the movie, when we went to the movie, Dragon Ball Super movie, remember Bulma was like, Yamcha's here, and Vegeta's like, oh, good.
Oh, yeah, because that's the ex-boyfriend.
Yeah, and he just seemed kind of cheesy. I don't know what word to use.
He is Yamcha is Dragon Ball fighter. He was decent in the original. But as everybody has progressed and gotten stronger, Yamcha and he got the little floaty cat.
Oh,
yeah. Curran.
Curran seems to be stronger than Yamcha.
Well, but let's be fair to Yamcha in this situation. He killed one of the. Well, he didn't kill. Vegeta killed it, but he defeated one of the Cybermen.
The little green.
And then he defeated the next Cyberman. But then he did the self-destruct on him. He wasn't expecting that. So it's not like he got beat up or got beat by one of the Cybermen, one of the lower.
But he was whining too when the Cyberman was getting ready to self-destruct.
Whining?
If I remember, it's been a while since I watched it.
Yeah.
I think it's not whining, but like, I don't want to die.
Well, yeah, who wants to die?
Get stronger.
Yeah. So I guess at the end of after watching a few episodes, I just didn't really feel like much happened. I was like, okay.
Well, you don't like the fighting.
Yeah.
So
because wasn't Yamcha in Dragon Ball the Bandit King? Mm-hmm. So he was like dope in the beginning.
And everybody was a bad guy.
But then once he fell in love with it was just over.
Yeah.
Bulma briefs.
Yeah,
Bulma briefs.
So anyway, that's a lot of anime talk today. We don't have that much.
And I kept mine short.
Yeah, yours usually be real long.
I know. I'll be like telling y'all every little thing that happened.
And then Goku said,
but it's fighting, and it's not really.
Yeah, and I'm just like, okay.
well, now it ended with Krillin getting mad, and Krillin want to whoop some tail. So that's where we left off.
Krillin though.
I like Krillin's moves. He not very strong though.
No, he's not very strong. I like Solar Flare, and Destructo Disc.
Yeah.
Oh wait, I have a question.
Okay.
What was the part about when they saw Krillin and they were like, "Oh, you're from Krill or whatever"?
No,
and
Piccolo.
I mean Piccolo. Where's he from?
Namek.
Yeah, he's from Planet Namek. They're like talking about him, and it was like he didn't realize that he was from Planet Namek.
Well, he's never been there.
So did he just always think he was from?
Well, he split from.
She hadn't watched Dragon Ball.
Oh, okay, because Krillin used to be
Piccolo. I got to keep y'all in line.
I always get them mixed up.
So Piccolo used to be two people. I mean, one person, and then he split. The evil side was Piccolo, and then the other side was
Kami,
and the Kami became like the guardian.
Oh yeah.
And Piccolo was out, acting a fool. But
So he just didn't know in that moment. Did he really just realize that he's from Planet Namek?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Come on. No.
Okay.
Y'all ready to jump in round 2?
Let's do it.
Round 2.
All right. I don't even know how I want to start with this conversation. It stemmed from the fact that we've talked a lot on the show. I always throw jabs at PS3. I throw jabs at the Wii, and I throw jabs at the 360. And Terrence don't really throw jabs back, but he, kind of waves me off like I don't know what I'm talking about. Then fast forward to now, we're playing one of from what I was told, I was always told that The Last of Us was a really good game. I was never told that it was one of the best games ever made, but I was told that it was one of the best games made for the PlayStation 3.
Correct. Towards the end of the life, because by that time when it came out, it was pretty much the end of the life
But that's PS3. Saying even more about the game. That if it's regardless of when it came out, it was still one of the best games. It came out at the end, and it's regarded as still one of the best games to come out on the PS3. Now that I've played it, I think it solidifies what I always thought about the PS3, which was that it's trash. Like, we had this conversation off air, and I think at the end of the day, when the PS4 came out and it was time to stop buying PS3 games, I think I only owned like 13 games. I think I only owned 13 games at the end of the PS3 life.
And I said to you, I think I had close to 150.
Wow.
But you're a little bit of different story because of a place that you work sometimes.
Well, no, I think at the time, if you remember the shift, and we were talking about this, PS3 and Xbox 360 had tons of RPGs, tons, even if they weren't, because PlayStation is a Japanese company, and they do a lot of Japanese games. So a lot of their RPGs were in English, but they weren't pushed as hard. And so I had a lot of RPGs that I played, and we had talked about Last Remnant, Lost Odyssey, I played Lost Odyssey on 360. Correct. It only came on 360. And then Last Remnant came on 360. Those were the two over there. But then PlayStation had a lot of its own little RPGs, and you had all your Personas, Shin Megami Tensei, he's still relevant now. Persona is Persona. And even though it's like a grown man's version of Pokemon per se, because you create demons, like evil demons, and then they become your persona, and then you can have multiple personas or personalities. So it's if you really get into it, but they've always done really, really well, and they've had it, and then they had the Shin Megami, and then there were a lot of stuff on a PS2. But you didn't have a problem with the PS2. No, because the PS3 didn't have a lot of great titles to play. It might have had a lot of RPGs, but they weren't great. It wasn't nothing that everybody should just run out and buy. PS2. Well, they had different stories. I mean, they did have different stories. They had a different story, but that don't mean the game is great. Like, that don't mean you should go play the game just because they had a different story from another RPG you play. PS2 had a large, extensive library with a lot of different type of genres of games that had good games. It was actually good, legit games. But it had its fair share of... Well, when you got a catalog of 1,000 games, you're going to have some bad ones. Well, PlayStation 3 had a pretty big catalog as well. It wasn't like the PS2. PS2 got one of the largest catalogs in gaming history. How long was it out comparable to... Because, PS3 was out, and then 7 years, and then they were already working towards the PS4. PlayStation 2 was... PS2 was out around the same amount of time, 6 years. 7. 6, yes. But they continued to 6 years. But even with the PS2, they continued to make games. When the PS4 when the PS4 came out, Sony really kind of. I think one of the problems with the PS3, from what I heard. Now I don't get into the technical babble, but from what I heard from the developers, they complained that it was very difficult to make games for the PS3 because it had a sales system, which was a different operating system than anything. So that is why a lot of, like, during the PS4 era, a lot of PS3 games were PlayStation Now. Mm-hmm. So they could own a few, because it wasn't a lot of the PS3 library. You could rent them. for like a couple of days or up to a week.
All I'm saying is there wasn't a bunch of games that you just must own PS3 games. There probably wasn't even when 20 or 25.
When you say that, do you mean exclusively for the?
No, well, sure. Well, no, because at the time you could still tell, for me anyway, you could still tell the difference between titles from the ones that came out on 360 versus the one that came out on PlayStation. Perfect example, Devil May Cry 4.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was trash on the 360. Like the graphics and everything was just horrible. It looked a lot better on the PlayStation.
It had more power.
So even in those, but irregardless, we can say that now.
Right.
We can say that now.
Talk about me and my word.
Without people jumping on us. Irregardless of that, that wasn't a must-own title on any system. So
I enjoyed Max Payne and then Max Payne, the second Max Payne 4. The first two came out on like the gen before that. But no, it was only 2. Was it 2 or 3?
I don't know, but I'm pretty sure I thought the first two came out on like
the
PS2.
first one came out on the PS2.
Yeah.
But that one was a good game to play. There were some other games that were main titles. I started playing because Call of Duty had this like battle with EA. It was Call of Duty, and then it was EA had their version of
Medal of Honor.
Medal of Honor.
Yeah.
So Medal of Honor wasn't bad for the PS3. It was actually pretty good. It didn't die until towards the end, and then Call of Duty started catching that steam.
But listen to what you're saying. Oh, it wasn't bad, or I played this.
Well,
I'm saying great, and that's not. And that's just talking about the games. The library was trash. That's just the games. The system itself. I mean, the free online subscription.
I didn't have a subscription at that time. I never got a.
It was free.
I never got into the.
Yeah, it was trash. It was free, but it was trash. That was always my.
Why was it trash? Because the titles?
No, it was brand new, and it was basically in a beta phase, so they gave it to you for free because it didn't really work right. They couldn't charge you for it.
So basically, Nintendo charges like $8 for theirs, but they actually use the phone sometimes. PlayStation's was a little different, that was, because it was trying to compete with the X360, who had already had their paid version pretty much down, and it was better. Now you learn from your mistakes.
Well, it was just growing, so it's fine now. So that was bad.
You still get horrible games sometimes.
Sure, it's free.
Yeah. But then you have a situation where you have a backwards compatible system, so you can still go play PS1 games and PS2 games.
Mm-hmm. I had the Fat Daddy.
But it was only one model. It wasn't just if it was fat. It had to be a very specific model.
Okay.
And then it broke. And then because it broke, they didn't make any more of them, and they went away from the totally backwards compatible, the fully backwards compatible system. All that is trash. And then don't let me talk about the 6-axis controller. Do you not remember the 6-axis controller?
I didn't have 6-axis controller. I had the
no, you had to have had a 6-axis if you had the Fat Daddy, as you call it, because that's the only one that came.
Well, at the time, the controller wasn't the problem for me. So
it was a problem, though. It's not like it was. To me, that's just another thing.
So I'm trying to remember about it because eventually I went ahead and got the next controller, the DualShock.
Yeah, after
because you had them in all the colors and stuff.
After they settled the lawsuit, they got sued for the technology for the DualShock. Somebody said they stole it from them, so that's why they couldn't put out a DualShock 3.
Oh, so that's
launch.
why they had to put out this other
the 6-axis
thing.
Yeah, it was garbage. The only thing, and they didn't even market it as a video game system. They marketed it as a home entertainment.
I thought
system.
that was Xbox.
No, that was PlayStation.
I didn't.
That was PlayStation. You can surf the internet. You can play Blu-rays. It's fun for the whole family.
But then you couldn't play Blu-ray. You could, but isn't that the one that broke?
No, that's PS2.
PS2.
Oh, okay.
And the funny thing about it is, they actually, and Sony did this, because PlayStation had Blu-ray, Xbox had
HD DVD. That you had to buy as a separate attachment.
Correct.
So that then don't even get me into how trash the 360 was as well.
And so eventually when HDVDs just went away, Sony had the and so
Blu-ray already built in.
But are you saying that like in hindsight or at the time you
No,
thought?
at the time. The online was trash at the time. The lack of gaming. So the other problem with the PS3 games is that you had so few titles that were worth anything that they always were worth something. Even at the end of the life, kind of like Nintendo. From day 1 to day 1000, Smash for the Switch were probably $40 plus. It was the same thing for PS3. There was so many games that were just so expensive and they had been out for 3 years because there was no other good titles to play. And it was just ridiculous.
Well, I think it's
and the fact
more
that
mainstream. There was so Sony has always been an indie pusher. So they always did like Journey. There was a game called Journey that was, and it won millions of awards and actually won awards at the game the game show, but it was so indie, like you played through the game and you didn't understand the game until you got to the end and you're like, wow, right. Okay. So I mean, they had games that were good, but at the same time, if you say what he's saying is great games, there's a lot of games when we get into the next one, there's a lot of games that deal with repetition since the beginning of time. Even since Mario, Pong, Galaga. Galaga is the same. Everything just may move a little faster. Pac-Man, the same thing. The boards change after you get Pac-Man. It makes Pac-Man get married, and it turns blue. But the board and the monsters are still the ghosts are still the same. So games were built on repetition. So I know that's a killer sometimes when we talk about PS, because a lot of games, shooting games are shooting games. I don't really feel like there was any great game. And then 7 came out on the PS2? Final Fantasy 7 came out PS2? PS1. Yeah.
So let me get off this. I'm not here to bash Sony because all 3 systems that came at that in that generation were trash. The Wii, I played it for a week. I sold it.
I sold mine.
I got another one like 2 years later. I played it for a week and I sold that too. The only reason I have one now is because someone had a bunch of extra ones and they gave us one for free. Shout out to George.
Oh, what? Really?
Yeah, that's the only reason I own one today, because he gave us one for free because he had like 3 of them.
Shout out to George in South Korea.
Shout out.
Because in the beginning when the Wii came out, they had like a couple games, but the games everybody was playing, Zelda, or you had everybody over your house playing Wii Sports, your bowl, your baseball, the boxing.
Yeah,
right.
It was for a week.
But hold on. The Wii was made for when company come over. So when people come over, you having a party.
Yes.
Especially if they had never played it before.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Now once they've seen it, then it's like, yeah. Okay.
But let me say this, and maybe it's because where I work, part-time.
Part-time.
Michael Jackson.
Oh, here we go.
I knew we were talking about Michael Jackson.
Yeah. The Michael Jackson experience.
Yeah.
That does
not.
I'm just saying that game probably saved the system.
Regardless of what the game was, Michael Jackson, Final Fantasy 11.
I mean, that Smash Brothers was on there too. So
so regardless of what the game was, it doesn't justify, like, it wasn't good enough to cover like the whole generation of that system.
How much was the Wii when it first came out?
200.
Was it 200?
I think that's why it sold so many. It was cheap.
Right. It was because PlayStation was like what,
6
at the time.
But it came with everything. Like the 360 was cheaper, but it didn't come with everything. You had to buy all this extra. You had to buy the wireless adapter. You had to buy
every little piece.
I was like, man, again, garbage. Now let's get on the 360. Trash. It came out a year early to get the jump on everybody, and they sold everybody a defective system.
Because you got the Rings of Death.
Yes, and I got the red Rings of Death.
So if you played after and it overheated because the board would, and then your system was dead.
So, and they got sued, and they were forced to fix everyone's system. It was that whole generation.
And it was free. I mean, it was free, of course,
but still.
But yeah,
come on, the whole generation of systems was terrible. A lot, honestly. Like I said, I say this all the time, and I mean it. It almost got me to stop gaming. Like I was about to quit gaming. The only thing that kept me gaming was trying to get achievements and trying to get trophies. That's it. The games I was playing were trash. Even the supposedly good games were garbage. But I played them just to try to get the trophies.
See, mine was different. Like my systems. Now I would say this. Now there were more because Xbox had more games at the time. Xbox had more games. And then you had your Halo. The Halo series for the 360 was not bad at all.
But if you go back and look, Halo 3 was actually bad. Like the gameplay was bad. At the time, it was new and it was great. Yeah. But if you really analyze, if you really look at the game, it's trash.
Well, yeah, when you look at it now.
Well, I think even when you looked at it back then, as soon as Call of Duty came out, I think a lot of people realized that Halo was trash. Like when you look at Halo to Call of Duty, like it's a big drop off when you go down to Halo. It's not the same.
Not at the time. At the time, Call of Duty was getting its footing. So
I think soon as Modern Warfare came out, that first one, Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare, I think is the official name of it.
I think Halo 3 ended pretty much at that time or whatever. And then a sleeper, ODST. I loved ODST.
I like the story of ODST, but the gameplay was still trash. Like it was still lacking. Like it just.
It played well. See, this is the thing. As I look back on it now, it's different because I'm judging something compared to being able to do other things with other systems. At that time, I enjoyed my systems because I enjoyed playing video games. So there's a difference between enjoyment and exceptionally great. Because there's stuff as you tell me all the time, as when you took all them games down and said you bought all of this.
Oh yeah, and a waste of money. $1,000 worth of games on the couch.
A waste of money.
Waste of money.
But at that time, those systems, I enjoyed playing them. Now, if it was horrible, it was horrible. Two Worlds was horrible. It was a horrible game, and even at game awards, they were like, "Hey, the worst game in the world, Two Worlds." I mean, it's been known. They even joked when Two Worlds 2 came out. It was so glitchy and buggy. There was a game called Two Human that I played on the Xbox 360, and I loved it. But I mean, it dealt with Greek mythology, and the story and the mechanics. The mechanics, sometimes I feel like on that system, they were trying so many different things that there were some games that had horrible mechanics.
Yeah, it was a bunch of look.
But stories and what they put together as the productions weren't the problem. It was the mechanics.
Well, but what you're saying is, at the time it was great. I can look back now and say it wasn't that great. I don't look back at a lot of stuff that I experienced on the PS2 and be like, you know what, that really just wasn't great. I don't have the same feelings. And the PS2 had way less functionality than the PS3 had, right? Or the Xbox 360 or the Wii for that matter. So it was just a bad experience overall. I think we just made excuses for stuff. It's new. Oh, they got to make the new sale stuff for the PS3.
So what was Bouncer on?
The Bouncer? PS2.
That was a horrible game. It was a horrible game.
Yeah, okay. But it was a test game.
But it was still a horrible game. It's still a game.
Okay.
It was still, $30 at the time? $40? There are bad games on each system.
No. Okay. No, that's not what we're talking about. No, we're talking about a whole generation of games. I'm not talking about singling out this one game was good, this one game was bad. The whole generation was a disappointment. It wasn't like anything that was so great and fantastic that revolutionized stuff and like this is so awesome and this is great. PS3 is the best system ever made. Xbox 360 best. No, it was, and it should have been, but it wasn't. So, and it wasn't even close. So answer me this. What's the better system, PS4 or PS3?
Well, that should be easy. It's right now it's PS4.
What's the better system, PS2 or PS3?
I don't remember a lot about PS2.
Oh, come on, man.
You're gonna say PS2.
PS2.
That's what you're gonna say. But you're asking,
come on. From what you do remember.
There were games that I enjoyed. But I didn't have like the issue with the controller. Either controller, Xbox or PlayStation. I never had, and each one of them was different. They felt different to your hand.
Which one is better, Switch or Wii?
Switch.
Oh, Switch.
Which one is better, GameCube or Wii?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
I didn't play GameCube.
GameCube is better than the. Hold on. GameCube is better than the Wii. This is what I'm talking about. Now, the 360 was better than the Xbox, but Xbox was just garbage. I mean, the Xbox itself was just straight garbage. We know if it wasn't for Halo, there would be no Xbox 360.
Was it Jade Cocoon? Hold on. Jade Empire, Knights of the Old Republic. Those came on.
Okay, that's 2 games, man.
There two came on there, so it's 1 and 2.
Okay, that's 3 games. We talking about a whole generation of console. And you naming 3 games? Nah. Like the Xbox itself was losing money, and they were about to go out of business until Halo saved it. Period.
And I didn't play the original Halo until later. So I didn't play the other ones, but at that time, my whole fixture and my whole mindset was, I have this game right here that is 30 hours, and I can go eat a sandwich, and I can play at my own time, which is funny because he says all the time, he's solo dolo, and I'm all about playing games with other people. At that time, because you could get on. You couldn't do online play for Halo 1, could you?
You could, but I think you had to do it with the LAN, through the LAN links, like a PC setup.
Right. So I wasn't into the whole mindset of I want to play with other people. All of the games that I got for both those systems were all. But
my thing is, even if you don't remember much about Xbox versus the Xbox 360, PS2 versus PS3, it shouldn't even be a question. Like, it shouldn't even have to take any thought. Like, the PS3 should have blown the PS2 out of the water, but it didn't. The Xbox 360 should have blown all that stuff out of the water too. It didn't. The Wii should have blown all that stuff out of the...
Every next generation should blow the previous one.
And it didn't. And it did not. And it did not. So, I say all that to say, now we get into The Last of Us, which I didn't play when it came out. And everybody kept telling me it's a good game, you got to play it. I didn't play it because it came, like you said, it came out at the end of the life of the system. I was playing Final Fantasy 14 MMORPG, so I didn't have time. And I was waiting for the PS4 to come out. I was waiting for the Xbox One to come out.
I remember that.
So I don't got time for this, right?
Right.
So I will say that. Let's jump into round 3 real quick.
Round 3.
Because we're going to be reviewing this game, The Last of Us. Now, we had 2 different experiences because you played on the PS3.
Original.
And I played the PS4 Remastered. So I don't really know what the differences are. But what I will say right up front is this game is really slow paced and it is super boring. It is really, really boring. It is glitchy, has bad camera angles for people. And I looked right on the box, nominated for 200 awards. If this is this your king, PS3? Is this the best you have to offer? Is this one of the best games ever made for the PS3? It solidifies what I've been saying, that the system is trash, because this game is not great. I don't care what anybody says. This is not a great game. Is it a good game? I'll give it that, because of the story. Can you get to the story outside of all the slow-paced bad stuff? I wanted to put it down. I didn't want to play it no more.
Yeah, I will say it started off really slow, where I was just like, but at some point, and I can't figure out where, I think it might have been after they picked up the girl. Shortly after they picked up the girl, something happened and it started getting better. Like the story picked up, there was more enemies, more stuff started happening, and then I started liking it. I was like, okay.
So yeah, I did play the original, and so I played it at a time. It was at a different time. So let's say this: the story had more power, I think, when I played it on a PS3. I think it was more emotions tied to it at that time, and just the aspect of how he lost his daughter and this time and the start of the anarchy, and then for him to become what he was and to kind of be a loner and then have to do this and then progress to basically seeing her. I mean the story's out there, so it's not like it's
spoiler alert
as a kind of replacement for his daughter.
Yeah, I've picked that up. We're only halfway through.
So I mean it talks about loss, and so the story for me was really good. Now it's we kind of said some things because we were talking about the original Assassin's Creed. When it first came out, it was all stealthy. It was meant to be stealth. As it's transitioned, there is stealth involved, but there are other ways to kill people. You don't have to go and be on the tip of a tower and jump down and stab somebody in the head every 5 minutes or whatever. Because it dealt with a lot of repetition, and that's really I think what makes it a little slower because you have to creep around. Even if you do use your shiv, it will break. And then if you don't kind of plan it out right, then there's more running.
Let's talk about running real quick, because I think that's the other thing that makes the game so slow. So I'm going to go out on a limb and say that either this game got changed multiple times or it was incomplete. There were too many times where there was clearly the right way to go and the secret way to go. And I'll walk, I have to say, because even when you ran, it was just a light jog and it was super slow. And sometimes they wouldn't even let you do that. So it was a slow walk, like a casual walk, way over here down this pathway. Oh, look, there's a drawer. Open the drawer, nothing in it.
Nothing, yeah.
Why did I come over here?
It's
what was the point?
Exploration.
No, there is no exploration. It's linear. I don't know what. It's trying to masquerade as something that you can explore. There's nothing to explore. There's nothing there. I don't think that's.
Did you open the drawer?
And what was in it?
My question was, did you open the drawer?
Is that your idea of fun? That's exploration.
That was a yes or no question.
Yes, he did.
Okay.
Is that what you call exploration? Because that's not what I call exploration.
Exploration in the game is if you go and you open a drawer, you're exploring the area that you're in. So regardless,
and 98% of the drawers have nothing in them.
I don't remember.
Okay, I'm telling you.
But I enjoyed the game, and I didn't think it was trash or bad. And at the time I played it, it had more semblance than it did remastered.
What's the difference? What's the difference? It now has better graphics.
Better graphics, and you have the extension. They came out with a DLC.
I ain't even played that yet, so that don't have.
It was a
nothing
prequel. So I mean, hey. So it was a prequel, and it kind of told the story of Ellie and and her lifestyle.
But what's that got to do with?
Because it's part of the story.
But you saying that it's different now because of all this stuff.
Well, no. I'm just saying they added stuff to it for.
But I hadn't played that, so all I'm comparing is The Last of Us, the original game that came out. The only thing different from what I'm playing is that it's got better graphics.
I enjoyed the game. I didn't think it was boring. But at the same time, I played it on the PS3. So how I played on the PS3 is different than playing on the PS4. I own it for the PS4 because I enjoyed it, but I haven't gone back to it
because it's boring.
Well, because it's linear. Like you said, it's a linear story. Once you finish the game, you can go back and play through it. Game Plus.
And new Game Plus,
and you'll have all of your, because you had to upgrade and you had to learn to do stuff or whatever. Yeah. So those things you automatically have. So you can go through Shiv and everything, ink, because the game will be quicker because you don't have to. Nothing will break.
Yeah,
it'll last. You'll put a little bit more tape on it, your Shiv, and then just your guns. I mean, so I'm not gonna do that. Now I have it in my. I have it. So if I'm trying to express to somebody, hey, I played this game, and you may enjoy it because of the story. So basically, he had a problem with the mechanics and the slowness of it, but the story itself was not bad by any means. The story was actually really good.
So you know what it reminds me of when we talk about this, when we say bad mechanics, bad gameplay, and we say good story. And good graphics, because this remastered one has good graphics. I'm assuming that the PS3 one had good graphics for the time. So you know what that sounds like. Bad gameplay, got weird mechanics, good graphics, and a great story. You know what that sounds like?
What?
Death Stranding.
Was it? No, it's not at all.
Now I'm not gonna say it's as bad as Death Stranding. It's not as
Postman.
Yeah.
So I'm not gonna say it's as bad as that, but that's the realm that is getting in for me, because just for the simple fact, again, like I said, the gameplay is not worth my time and effort to get to the next chapter with the good story. Like it's just not. It's so slow. It's so boring, and it's just like I don't want to do this anymore.
And I enjoyed it so much at the time. I wanted to see what the next thing was. When we start talking about some of the other stuff, podcast or two away, this was a good story that had like a foundation to lead into a different direction.
Yeah, I'm with you. Like I want.
You want to know?
Yeah,
I don't care, because to be fair, through full transparency here. I think I'm like almost directly halfway through the game.
So are you playing as Ellie, or are you still playing as Joel and Ellie?
Joel and Ellie.
Okay. There was a section or a portion where you play as Ellie.
Okay.
And she's trying to.
Spoiler alert.
I just told him but he just wants to spoil the game. But that's cool. I do plan on trying to finish it because the whole reason I played this is so we can review the second one because everybody was talking about it. Now some controversy with it. So now I really have to get through this so we can play the second one. What I'm saying is I'm halfway through it and nothing has happened. The most that has happened as far as like meaningful progression in the game happened in the first 15 minutes. We talked about this yesterday.
So brothers, you made it to the brothers.
Yeah.
And you made it to the point that was sad. Was that not sad? So your brother
Wait, I don't know what you're talking about.
The brothers, the two, the older and the little boy.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're still with me. So maybe it's been too long where you don't know what's what.
Well, no.
They all four just got through the tunnel.
We just got through the sewers. We came out to the suburbs of Pittsburgh and there's a sniper shooting me and then I turned it off.
Oh. See, he didn't explain to me specifically.
Yeah.
So I didn't say, I said, did you make it to the brothers? I didn't say.
And then you said it's sad. Ain't nothing sad happened with no brothers right now.
Right.
But
so
what I'm saying is I'm at the halfway point of the game. This is what I'm telling you. Halfway point of the game.
For me.
It don't matter if it's halfway for you. I looked it up.
So
I know what chapter I'm on.
So for you to say to me,
there are 12 chapters. You to say I am on chapter 6.
For you to say to me, it doesn't matter. That is almost like me saying it's irrelevant.
No, it's not because I have facts. I have facts. There are 12 chapters. I am on chapter 6. That means I am halfway through the game.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
So
right?
What's your point?
My point is
say?
There's nothing, again, like I said, there's nothing relevant that has happened in the story except for the first 15 minutes of the game.
So the character building you care less about.
It didn't do anything for me. It was very boring as well. It was nothing meaningful for the game. It didn't progress any kind of gotcha moment or any kind of suspenseful moment. I guess the only big thing that happened.
That's character building. That doesn't have to be suspenseful.
6 chapters? Come on, man. The only thing relevant that happened, and it wasn't even really that relevant because Tess wasn't really around that long, is that Tess got infected and then she did like a little suicide stunt so we can get away. That's the only kind of big thing that happened, and to me that wasn't even really that big because she wasn't around long enough for me to care about her.
Yeah. And
she was just acting like a jerk the whole time anyway. So it was just like, whatever, this chick's dead. Okay.
See,
and that's it. So do you feel like there were other like big moments in the game outside of the beginning where the infected people started attacking and then the daughter died? Like,
no, I don't think there's any big moments, but I think that I am finding myself kind of getting like emotionally involved with the story.
And so sometimes you don't need like a major explosion for things to subtly happen. We watch series on TV, right? Well, he may not, but I mean, we do. So we watch these series and sometimes, you may get an episode and 2 episodes, but in those, there are subtle things that happen to lead to the next episode and their character development. A lot of times we don't like it. There was a show I watched way back in the day. It had Lost.
Oh, yeah. So, I never watched it, but I know the show. I never watched it.
Okay. So Lost, they on a planet and everything, and eventually, so... Yeah.
And then it went back for some reason.
Yeah, like the planet drew them back. Yeah. So in the beginning, get a little bit, but the next one would lead to another, and then would lead to a bigger portion, and then the character development, will go back in time, and it would just kind of explain things to the point you're like, oh, okay. So you start to care, and get emotionally attached to the characters. That doesn't have to be big.
But what I'm saying is they haven't done that for me. Okay. I don't care.
Yeah, I
mean, Joel and Ellie can die. I mean, I know Ellie doesn't die because I seen the commercial for the next one, but they could just die right now, and I'd be like, okay.
Yeah, because you're just not.
I don't care.
That's not what you're into. That's fine. I like it because I am into that, and I have kind of gotten emotionally involved with these people, and I want to see what happens because I have no idea. I didn't know that about Ellie, so I know now, but.
Know what?
That she survives or whatever because you saw her in the commercial. Like I don't know how this ends.
Right,
but we did a whole podcast on it. So
on The Last of Us 2?
Yeah, when it came out, the ANX Weekly Update. Go check it out on YouTube.
We talked about the movie.
Oh, okay.
And we talked about the movie.
Yeah, but I didn't know who any of the characters were. I didn't know
you weren't on the episode when we did the game.
Oh, okay. Okay.
But
it didn't stay in my head because I didn't know anything at the time.
It didn't grab you.
Right. Well, because I'm like, I don't know who that is.
And you said that at the beginning caught you. There was a lull, but as that lull progressed, it started to become more involved with it.
But the main thing you said was sometimes there's character development, right? And sometimes we don't like it. Sometimes it's not great, right? Or it's not the big explosion as you called it, right? But so why would I continue to play?
Well, you might not because you don't care about that kind of stuff.
Yeah, you don't
exactly.
care. So basically,
but even at the slow part, I'm pretty sure that was a part where you were like, I would be good if he stopped playing this.
Yes, I would. There was a point where I think I said that. I'm like, this is so boring. Like it took a while to get going.
So, and I think a little bit of that
outside of the very beginning,
right?
That first scene, of course, you're like,
I was ready to go. I was like, oh yeah, let's do this, and then it was just like,
there was a transition point because she died, and then there's like years that pass.
Yeah.
But for me, it was different because the way they explained it, because this is different than zombies, and I think that was another thing that caught me. We were Resident Evil. There was all zombies, and zombies was big. And then you had something else that wasn't. This wasn't zombies. These aren't reanimated. There is a fungal disease that actually, and then some of the pictures they would show and how they would look and how they would creep, and then the clickers, how they would make the noise. Yeah, it was that kind of how they twisted science so I enjoyed it. Yeah. Just with everything in the background. And now and I'm not a sneaker. I don't play a lot of games where I'm having to sneak around. And even like when I play with other people, I'd rather come out and just shoot you. But in this one, it wasn't about.
I mean, you could do that too. That's pretty much what I just resorted to because it's like this is boring. Like I'm just gonna go shoot them.
Oh, can you set them on fire?
You can set them on fire. Yeah, but now I'm at the point where it's like, oh, it's 6 of them. Okay, I'm gonna start shooting people because it's just like,
do you have enough bullets?
I don't care.
I don't remember when I played it. I think that this one, like Resident Evil, there's a limit on how much ammunition
there is a limit, but it also seems to replenish. There seems to be a type of ammunition that you're supposed to use in any given area, and once you use that and you progress and move up, they give you pretty much what you just used.
Well, and you can kind of tell when you're getting ready to face a bunch of people because you'll start finding bullets, like a lot of them. And it's like, okay, they're preparing you.
Either they're preparing you, or like I said, or they will replenish what you were supposed to use. Now, if you use the wrong thing, then it doesn't.
You just may be out.
Then you're gonna be out of this thing, and you won't be able to carry any extra. So you're just gonna leave it because you didn't use the. I don't want to say recommended because it doesn't tell you.
Right.
But you're not using the recommended ammo type for that situation that you should have used. And you always know when they give you something new that you're really supposed to use that for the next big encounter. 9 times out of 10. So it's
it's gonna play a major part.
Right.
So I love the Molotov cocktails because they pretty much take out and hearing them scream.
Yeah.
So there are other the other reasons I enjoyed the game just to see them set somebody on. I'm not a pyromaniac, but just to see people getting set on fire and still screaming and thriving in pain. But at the same point, the story was good. I sometimes I like that sci-fi aspect of it. Yes, if you stab one and you went and you creeped upon them and you stabbed them in the neck, you had to always worry about your shiv because your shiv may break. And if you went in a crowd of people and you try to sneak and you sneak right, they turn around and then usually a swarm on you. Or whatever, and then you could use your gun, of course. But I enjoyed the game. I really did.
Could this possibly, and I know he's going to say no, but I'm going to ask anyway. Could this possibly be a situation where this game just came out so we talked about this with Doom, right? The Doom Eternal. It came out at a horrible time. There were way too many other games that came out that were way better than that game in a whole different league than that game. So it's like I'm not going to invest a bunch of time in this game because I need to move on to the next. I don't remember. Could this be a situation where that game came out where nothing came out the month before, nothing came out the month of, and nothing came out the month after? As far as anything of major quality,
pretty sure something did, but I don't remember. So it's been some years, so I don't remember.
Because a lot of times we get into conversations. I'm talking about the game. He's talking about his experience with the game. So we a lot of times we having two different conversations.
Well, this one I'm not. This one, because I haven't played it in such a long time. You're resting on the mechanics. I can't say that. I mean, because I have moved on, but I played it a lot when it was out, the original. I didn't go back and play it. I mean, I did kind of look at some of the cutscenes again to kind of familiarize myself with what was going on, just to kind of remember. But as far as that time period, I don't remember what was out.
Let's talk about stupid stuff that was happening in the game.
Okay.
Just straight foolery. Let me boost you up here, Test. Let me boost you up here, way up here, or something we can't reach. All right.
Yeah.
All right, Joel. Give me your hand. I'm going to pull you up. With one, I'm going to pull up a grown man.
with one arm.
I'm going to just yank you up here. Okay. That's stupid.
Yeah.
Then it gets worse. Then she gets stabbed. And she's still pulling me up with one arm after she's been stabbed. Then we find out she's infected. So now you're stabbed and infected, and you're still pulling me up with one arm. Get out! I was like, this is stupid.
Hold on.
This is ridiculous.
I don't remember, but when they pulled him up, I'm trying to remember. When she pulled up Joe, did his feet hit the wall?
What wall?
So like I don't. So
yeah, sometimes there wasn't really a wall.
So you know how okay. So say this desk right here, and say it didn't have the gap right here, but like when I was laying on the table and I was trying to pull you up, and your feet could actually hit to actually give leverage.
I don't think so.
They made it look like literally it was nothing for her to pull him up with one arm.
Now they did correct themselves later on.
Yeah.
When it was time for Ellie to pull him up, and of course she didn't, and they found some other way for him to get up, or they made some kind of mention that
she little kid, yeah,
right. But I was like, okay, Tess is Superwoman. I don't know how she got killed by that bullet, because she should have skin like steel, like Superman, because she's Superwoman,
because she can actually pull this dude up,
right? So I don't know how she got killed by a bullet.
So
because she's Supergirl.
So what else? What
I mean, that was
stuff?
enough. That was just enough. I had checked out at that point. Like, this is stupid.
Yeah. I even noticed that. I was like, what? When they showed that.
And then it kept, and this is what made it worse. We talked about the repetitive nature of the game. And it just kept happening.
Yeah.
Over and over again. Like this, I was like, can we stop with
Ellie?
He stopped with the silliness.
The hand clutch.
Well, that's what they did. That's what he did with Tess. That's how she got up there. Okay, that's fine. That's believable. That's cool. You got a grown man tossing a girl or woman up there. Okay.
But no woman should be able to pull up a grown
man with one
arm.
Do you know a woman that can pull you up with one arm?
Well, if she could, I'd be scared.
For real.
There you go.
So I will say that there are. I know y'all are gonna roll your eyes, but I think the things that I liked about this, it felt like not a miniature, but like a less version. I don't mean that in a bad way, but a dumb.
Ooh.
No. I don't know what word to use. Like a less complicated version of Fallout 4, because it had the story, it had people to interact with, it had collect items, and then it had you can take these items and make stuff. It had the leveling up system, like where you pick whatever.
But you yourself didn't. I don't think we as in Fallout. That you yourself did not level up. Everything around you may have leveled, but the character per se didn't level.
On Fallout 4?
No, in Last of Us.
Yeah, you level up the stuff.
Yeah. But it had that.
No, but you could kind of level up because you can get your health up. You can get your crafting speed up.
Yeah, but it didn't have like level 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
No. Right. No, but it had the things where you could level whatever. And then the only thing that this had that Fallout 4 didn't have is the cutscenes.
Yeah, I've never seen 76, but
no, Fallout had cutscenes. They just didn't traditional cutscenes back in the day until the PS3 came along. And it's not a dig at PS3. traditional cutscenes always had way better graphics than the actual game. So it was noticeable. It was a noticeable difference. PS3 had such good graphics at the time. They weren't as great as a custom tailor-made
PC
generated cutscene, but they just used the same graphics as the cutscene. So that's what they did also in Fallout 4. Like the graphics really didn't get that much better when there was a cutscene, so you might not even really realize.
Right.
Oh wait, I remember now them talking to him at the Institute, and that's right. I forgot.
Yeah,
I forgot.
But the graphics were kind of the same as the regular
Right. And it wasn't like things that happen in this one. The cutscenes are like true like movie-esque.
Yes.
So even when you get to a certain point, it is like movie-esque. It may be 3 minutes.
So I'm glad you said that. You know what this is for somebody watching? I'm sure it might be decent, right? Like you're watching a movie.
Yeah.
I, having to play the game, am the old dude that had to like crank the reel for the movie to play. Like I don't get to just enjoy the movie. I got to do work.
Yeah.
That's what I would give.
That is true. I'm just sitting back enjoying.
Yeah. For me, this was.
But no, it did.
But it made you want to. I remember us talking. You started to enjoy the game to the point you wanted to play.
Which one?
When we were talking yesterday about this game, I heard you say we were.
Oh, she said she was ready to play.
Ready to play.
Oh, not me though. I met him.
Okay.
Yeah, no. I'm ready for him to play.
You know, for a moment,
I don't really play much.
What?
No, I don't really play much.
You played the okay.
Some Animal Crossing, but that's about it.
Yeah, I was giving, and I forgot we PG. We
family friendly.
You played the snot out of Animal Crossing.
Yes, I did.
There's no snot left. It's COVID free.
Boy, I was like, wow.
But what I was going to say though also is about the comparison to Fallout 4. It just felt like it was a less complicated version though.
Oh yeah,
there wasn't like as much to do, and it's much more linear. It isn't like.
So you saying Terrence only likes easy games?
No, I did not say that.
That was a side dig that you tried to put her in.
I didn't try. I did. I threw it right in there.
And what did she say?
With the shiv.
Right.
Clink.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, I agree. I mean, the game is not that difficult, generally speaking. It's not hard.
Linear. I mean,
it's linear and it's not hard.
It's not. I mean, you shouldn't get bit. Or
because those clickers, man. Sometimes the animation was weird. They'll be way over there, and the next thing you know, they turn around super fast and they
start running at you, and you may not have a chance to pull up your gun,
or sometimes you just swing and just miss. The pipe will just go right through somebody, or the mechanics were not.
That's an old system problem.
Yeah,
older problem.
But even though it is linear, I do like the exploratory piece of it where you walk around the town and you can go in all the different houses and you can look for stuff. Like that part reminded me of Fallout. You know what I mean?
I think the part that I don't like about that is that I'm going around looking for stuff
and stuff is not there.
Either it's not there or the stuff I never really find anything new. The only thing new I can find.
Oh yeah, there's not. Yeah,
is letters.
There's not a wide variety of stuff.
No, so I know I'm either find stuff where I can make my med kits, and I'm just getting tired of making those because I've made 50 of them, right? Or I'm gonna find some pieces for my weapons that I should not be using as much as I do, but I still use them. So I can go upgrade my weapon. So I know.
I think that's a cool factor because it lays whatever your gun is, it lays it out, and it actually shows you working on. Whatever
workbench.
Yeah, your workbench. It shows you how you actually processing and making it better.
Yeah.
But I already know what's coming. I already know if I go explore these 5 houses, the most I can get is probably X amount of scrap pieces for your weapons, and I already know it. It's just like,
but that's
and it takes forever.
You the dude to go to the movie and be like, I know what's gonna happen. Why am I here?
No. I'm not saying I know what's gonna happen with the story. I know if I search these 5 houses, I'm going to get enough parts to upgrade my shotgun again. Looking at those 5 houses takes an hour and a half because you walk so slow. So it's just like, I know what the next hour of my life is going to be, just looking in random drawers in this house over and over and over, looking for pieces to go upgrade the shotgun 1 level.
Yeah, but that's what I meant also when I was saying less complicated version of Fallout. I don't mean it's easy. I mean, no, I'm not saying, I don't mean that it's easy. I mean that like the variety of items you can pick up is so much less.
Yeah.
The variety of weapons you have is so much less.
Yeah.
You know,
and it's not, you don't have a weight. So your bag,
right? You don't have a weight. You don't have,
but
a weight
you do have a
limit
of how much you can carry.
Well, yeah, that is. But you don't have. Oh, my bag
as far as
weighs me down. It's 80 pounds and I can't walk. And now I can't. I'm encumbered.
Right.
You don't have that.
I mean, because I was wondering what was going to happen when he first got that. What was it, the nail bomb? Oh, and it had all the things sticking out.
I like that weapon.
And he and then he just put it in his back pocket. I was like, okay.
Yeah.
I was just wondering what he was going to do with that.
I was too.
And then he just put it in his back pocket.
Because I'm like, where are you going to put this? There's nails coming out of it.
Because you can see most of the weapons on you.
Right.
As you're walking around, he just put it in his pocket. So,
whatever.
It's whatever.
So some of the things, the arm strength.
Yeah, I mean, it's silly. It's like,
Ellie, cover me.
Right.
Let's not get over the voices. He just.
I don't mind the voices.
Yeah, the voices weren't. We cannot talk voices if we're going to talk Barrett's voice.
I didn't say nothing about Barrett's voice.
I'm saying we can't talk about voices if.
Why you acting like I like that game?
Yes, you do. That's your favorite game.
Final Fantasy VII, not Final Fantasy VII Remake. Final Fantasy VII, and there was no voiceovers in Final Fantasy VII.
Boom! It's the best game ever made.
Final Fantasy VII. Yeah, 7 for the PS1. So voice. So here's my deal. He appears to be very smart as far as he knows what's going on and how to maneuver and how to get through this whatever was happening.
People
in the
trying
world.
to pull tricks.
But you sound illiterate. So it's just kind of like
he just sounds country.
He sounds country. That's all. He just sounds country.
And they started in Austin, that scene.
Okay.
It was awesome.
I know they brought something to you because it was in Austin. I know you probably said something.
Well, I did. Well, as soon as they said Travis County, I go, Travis County? That's Austin. And then they showed the sign, Austin this way.
So is he Kratos? Because Ellie seems to have a way better vocabulary than he does, just like God of War.
He just seems like a
come girl.
No,
he should have just said that.
He's old, he's country, and he seems like just a blue collar, hard working guy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe he's not the most educated person, but
that's all I said.
Okay.
That's the only point I was trying to make.
I mean, she was a kid. She was in school. I mean, they're different. He was a dad, so he knows the dad thing.
He wanted dad for very long.
Stop.
Dis.
Yeah, that was a hard diss.
Dis.
I don't know what to say to you with that one.
That was
Dis.
That was cold.
I mean, she wasn't. I mean, she was what, 11?
Maybe, yeah.
So
that was sad.
That was sad. That's harsh.
He's cold blooded.
Well, I mean, I guess he ain't too smart. He should have just taken off running right then. Somebody pointing a gun at you and saying, "Get back." It's a good chance that he might start shooting at you, and he did. And then your daughter got shot. So what is you doing, bruh? Especially with all this stuff, with craziness in the street. If I run up on somebody,
but it just started happening at that moment.
But if it's craziness happening in the street, and I run up on somebody for help, and they point a gun at me, a big gun, and say, "Get back," I'm not gonna just stand there and try to work it out with you. Like, okay, I'm gone.
Get you later.
Yeah. But no,
but I don't think this. I mean, the way that was portrayed it was like peaceful, and then it was like peaceful in the beginning, and then it just went to straight anarchy. Like it was like
it got crazy real fast,
really, really fast. So in his mind, and that's, I mean, he was just trying to. That's why I was sad. Is he wasn't trying at that time. He wasn't trying to harm anybody. He was just, and there was a lot of trying to find out what's going on, and they tried to get help.
But he didn't try to help them other people. They just kept driving.
Well, he had to make sure his daughter was okay.
So I'm just saying. But now you want somebody to help you.
Well, don't help me. Just get that gun out of my face.
And then do what? Help you get behind the gate?
I don't know.
So, yeah, I'm glad we're talking about that because that's stupid. You see all this craziness going on. You refuse to help these people that you pass, yet then you want somebody to help you. And not only did not help you, but they did similar to what you did, which you hit the accelerator, which you could have ran them over and killed them. So he did the same thing. I'm not helping you, and you better get away from here. I'm shooting anything that comes around here. And his daughter got shot. So maybe he wouldn't even been in that position if he had stopped and helped those people. That's all I'm saying. I'm going to just throw it out there like that. I'm going to just break it down that way. So,
well, I mean, yeah. You're not wrong.
So I'm going to try to finish the game. I'll try.
Yeah.
We got a break. We got a little break because we got to do Pokemon Go Community Day. So our next episode will be that. So I have a little bit extra time to play that and then start playing part 2. I know this is difficult for you, this part of the show, but I want you to do. We're gonna do good this time.
What?
What's the price point? How much would you pay? The maximum amount of dollars. How much would you pay for this game? Not how much it's worth or how much you can go get it for cheap now because it's been out for a long time. How much is this game worth if somebody were to say, somebody selling this game for $50, is the gameplay and game experience worth $50? How much is this game worth?
Don't ask me, just because I don't really feel like that's a harder question for me to answer.
No, but that's the same question for like a year we've been doing the podcast.
Yeah, but that's a harder question. It's a harder question.
It's a hard question. I'm here for. I'm giving you the hard questions, like what the people want to know.
It's a $45 game.
45.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What do you think? We don't ever ask you your opinion on how much these games should cost.
I was gonna say 40.
Yeah. I think we're probably at 40 is hard. 40 is hard.
Why is that hard?
Because I want to say 40, but like I don't think it's worth 40, so that's why it's hard. But I think it's more than 35. So let's
$37.50.
Let's say 37.50, Bob. How about that?
Well, we're all pretty close.
Yeah, we're close.
Yeah. Right. I mean, and if somebody were to pick it up, you know that right now.
Oh yeah,
it's a greatest hits.
It's cheap.
So it's what, 19, maybe 9 at the most.
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially a used copy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you basically where everyone is saying is worth more than what you can go pay for. So if you see it out, go get it. Especially with all these sales that's about to happen. The PS4 stuff is about to be so cheap. Maybe not per individual game, but it's gonna be so many sales to get rid of this stuff.
Right.
4 for 20, 4 for 25. Like it's the PS4 stuff about to be, and the Xbox One. But
that's how it was for the 360 and PS3.
Oh yeah.
Although, don't do that unless you really, really want it, because otherwise you can save that money and put it towards the new games for PS5.
Oh, so she gaming on a budget.
I'm
gaming on the collector. She gaming on the budget. I don't know what he doing.
I'm just saying, don't get too excited. Don't get too enticed by sales, because that money, unless it's something you really want.
Yeah. And there's still games coming out. Cyberpunk comes out still. Ghost of Tsushima. Ghost of Tsushima. So there are a couple of still big titles before the system comes out. And then there's a lot of anime games coming out.
So worth around $35 to $45. So that's not bad. But again, what I would say is, again, what I was saying earlier, if this is one of the best PS3 games to ever come out, you don't know much about the PS3.
Correct.
Is this one of the best PS3 games that came out for that system? I think we already established that was a yes earlier in the episode.
It was.
What does that tell you about the PS3? If this is one of the best.
Yeah, not a lot.
Right.
And I liked it, but for this to be one of the best.
But it's different. The game has aged.
I'm just saying.
So like what we're seeing now and with the slowness and everything, the game is aged. So
Borderlands wasn't slow like that. I know it's a different style game, but I'm just saying.
Yeah, Borderlands was over the top.
No, I'm just saying.
And it's a shooter.
Yeah, it was a better game though.
This is an adventure. It's different.
I'm just saying.
Because if you remember,
I'm just saying. You just can't say
the Resident Evils were.
I'm just saying you just can't say it's old. It's slow because it's old. It's slow because it's old. Because it came out the same. Actually, Borderlands is older than that game, so it's actually a newer game than Borderlands. So I'm just saying.
I'd have to look that up.
Oh, it's fact.
So saith.
You gotta remember Borderlands and Borderlands 2.
So saith Marcus.
Okay, Google it then, and it will be true. Because you got to remember Borderlands and Borderlands 2 and Borderlands, the pre-sequel, all came out on that gen of console.
Hold on. They were shooters and they were cell shaded.
All I'm saying is you can't just say it's an older time, so that's why it's slow. Because there was other games that came out that were not slow.
They weren't the same style.
Assassin's Creed wasn't slow.
The first one was.
They wasn't this slow. I'm just taking a stroll around the zombies or the infected. Just walking slow. Come on, Ellie. Cover me, Ellie. I'm digging in my bag.
Ellie.
I like that. I'd have to see, but the other two. But I thought it was good. I mean, there was some, and like I said, there were some other games for the PS3 that were good.
All right, y'all ready to wrap up?
Yeah.
I still haven't fixed the screen. This is all I got for the wrap up screen. That's all I got. It ain't great. It ain't bad. I mean, come on, it ain't no different than what you've been looking at.
It's all right.
But anyway, let's go ahead and do the social media thing one more time. Follow us at ANX Gamecast on all social media outlets and wherever you get your favorite podcast. Speaking of your favorite podcast, this episode right here is available on YouTube, AVersion TV. Go look us up. Go subscribe to the channel, like the track, hit the notification bell, do all that good YouTube stuff. There is also another show on there. This is not the only podcast we do. We do a show called the ANX Weekly Update. So we talk about all the new games that came out last week.
Oh,
we talk about...
Oh, God.
Huh?
Them games. The list of games.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. We talk about almost any game that comes out on console. So some of them are bad, some of them are good. But anyway, we let you know what we think about them. And we talk about some of the current news and things of that nature. So if you want to hear that, it's a shorter show. That is also available on YouTube. Remember, we're the one that is not in Spanish.
That's it for today, guys. Join us next week where we will discuss the next Pokemon Go Community Day. See you next time.
Ele.